Welcome to the world of rare Lincoln pennies, where a tiny coin can hold massive hidden value. What if a single penny in your pocket could be worth thousands or even hundreds? Thousands of dollars, from mysterious mint errors to ultra-rare dates. Some of these humble copper coins have shocked collectors with record-breaking auction prices. We're diving deep into the top 7 most valuable Lincoln pennies ever discovered. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just curious about coin collecting, you want to miss this treasure hunt. Let's dive in, and you might never look at a penny the same way again. The most mysterious and valuable coins in American numismatic history is the 1959 Lincoln penny, with a rare reverse design error, a coin so controversial that it sent shockwaves through the entire coin collecting community. The year 1959 marked the 50th anniversary of the Lincoln cent, which had originally debuted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. From 1909 to 1958, the reverse of the Lincoln penny famously featured two wheat ears, known as the wheat reverse or wheat ears design, created by Victor David Brenner. But in 1959, the U.S. Mint introduced a completely new reverse design. The value auction sales record, $20,000, $50,000, even $100,000. So let's talk about what you came here for, the money. The 1959 wheat reverse penny has fetched serious attention and offers from major collectors, investors, and even museums. Here are some of the most eye-popping numbers associated with this mysterious coin in 2002. The coin was offered at auction for $24,000. It sold privately soon afterward for a rumored $48,000. In the years following, it was insured for over $50,000, according to some dealers. Serious collectors were prepared to offer $100,000 or more, should the coin be conclusively proven to be a legitimate mint error. As of today, the coin still carries a value estimate between $50,000 and $100,000, depending on condition, certification, and provenance. How to identify a 1959 Lincoln penny? Here are the telltale signs of a 1959 wheat reverse Lincoln cent. Date: the obverse front must say 1959, the Denver Mint version. Reverse design: look for the wheat ears design on the reverse, not the Lincoln Memorial. If you see wheat ears on a 1959, you may be holding history in your hand. No signs of alteration: the coin must show no signs of tampering, no scratches near the date, no tooling marks, and no soldering or machining that suggests modification. Authentication: if you suspect you have one, get it certified immediately by PCGS, NGC, or ANAX. Only certified coins will hold high value at auction. We're talking about an ordinary-looking 1964 SMS Lincoln penny, but with a twist so rare and mysterious that even professional collectors are left speechless. This coin is so rare, only about a dozen are known to exist, but its story. To understand why the 1964 SMS Lincoln penny is so important, we have to go back to what was happening in America and inside the U.S. Mint in 1964. The U.S. was entering the heart of the coin shortage crisis of the 1960s. Silver was vanishing from circulation, coin hoarding was widespread, and the mint was struggling to meet demand. Auction sales priced the 1964 SMS Lincoln penny. Alright, let's talk real numbers. The value of the 1964 SMS Lincoln penny is staggering and growing. Here's what has happened at auction. In 2005, one example sold for $20,700 at a heritage auction. In 2019, another struck MS67 read by PCGS sold for over $50,000. The highest known grade and incredible PCGS SP68RD is valued between $75,000 and $130,000, depending on market demand. The extreme rarity of these coins, combined with the fact that fewer than 15 certified examples exist across PCGS and NGC, creates a collector frenzy whenever one appears on the market. How to identify a 1964 SMS Lincoln penny? So how can you identify a true 1964 SMS Lincoln cent? Here are the key characteristics: sharp, squared rims. Unlike the rounded rims of business strike coins, SMS coins have sharp, square rims, a telltale sign of a special strike. Satin or proof-like finish, not as shiny as proofs, but much brighter than regular cents. The finish is smooth and uniform, exceptional strike quality. SMS coins display crisp, full details, especially on Lincoln's hair, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The real story of the 1969's Lincoln penny, a coin so rare, so mysterious, and so valuable, collectors have shelled out, and in some cases, even up to just 1 cent. The minting mistake that made this penny a treasure. How to spot the valuable error. The year was 1969. America was in the midst of historic events: the Vietnam War, Woodstock, and the moon landing. Amid all that noise, something small and seemingly insignificant rolled off the presses at the San Francisco Mint, a Lincoln cent. But what the U.S. Mint didn't realize at the time was that a minting error had just occurred. Record-breaking auction prices. Let's talk about what really grabs attention: money. Over the past few decades, the 1969's double-die Lincoln cent has been one of the most expensive pennies ever sold. Here are just a few examples of its auction power. In 2007, a certified MS-60 for red example sold for a staggering $126,500. In 2010, another specimen graded MS-63 red fetched $115,000. Even lower-grade versions, such as AU-55 almost uncirculated, have sold for $40,000 to $60,000. Some well-preserved mint-state red specimens are now valued at $150,000 to $160,000 or more on the private collector's market. How to identify the 1969's Lincoln penny? Let's make sure you know exactly what to look for. Key features: mint mark must have an S mint mark beneath the date. Date: strong, clear doubling on 1969. Liberty: look for dramatic separation in the letters. This is where the doubling is often most dramatic, especially on the word. Important note: the S mint mark is not doubled. That's because mint marks were hand-punched separately in 1969, after the die was made. Many fake 1969's double dies exist, usually created by mechanical doubling or post-mint damage. If you think you found one, have it certified by PCGS or NGC, two of the most trusted grading services in the world. Today, we're diving deep into the jaw-dropping world of the 1981-era Lincoln penny. We'll uncover the mysterious minting mistakes that make it so valuable, the history behind the error, how to identify it, and of course, what collectors are willing to pay to get their hands on it. The 1981 Lincoln penny was born. The early 1980s were a turbulent time for U.S. coinage. Inflation was soaring, the value of copper was rising rapidly, and the U.S. Mint was facing increasing pressure to reduce production costs. Since 1909, the Lincoln cent had been struck primarily with a 95% copper, 5% zinc composition, but by the late 70s and early 80s, this traditional alloy was becoming expensive to produce. How to identify a 1981 Lincoln penny? Want to become a coin detective? Here's how to check your own 1981 Lincoln pennies. Weigh the coin. Use a digital scale with 0.01 grams precision. A regular 1981 cent should weigh about 3.11 grams copper. If it weighs closer to 2.5 grams, it's a post-1980 to zinc planchette normal. If you find a 1981D weighing 3.11 grams, but struck like a 1982 penny jackpot, look for doubling. Use a coin microscope at least 20x zoom. Examine if letters look thicker or appear to have shadow-like doubling. You may have a DDO. Check strike quality. Misstrikes, such as off-centers and broad strikes, are easier to see with the naked eye. Market prices and real auction sales. In 2022, a 1981 Transitional era penny sold for $130 to $1,000 at Stack's Bowers. A 1981 double-die obverse MS-65 wrote fetched over $75,000 at a private auction. Even a lesser grade, lightly circulated DDO penny sold for $12,000 on eBay after expert verification. Professional collectors and dealers actively monitor auctions for these rare coins. And as coin collecting gains popularity through TikTok, YouTube, and numismatic influencers, the demand is hotter than ever. The story of one of the most mysterious, rarest, and valuable coins in U.S. history, the 1980 small date copper Lincoln penny. A coin so rare that only one confirmed example has ever surfaced. That's right, just one. It's a coin that wasn't supposed to exist, but somehow defied the mint's own rules. To understand why this penny is such a big deal, we have to rewind the clock to 1982, one of the most significant years in U.S. coinage history. For over 20 years, Lincoln cents were struck on a 95% copper, 5% zinc alloy. But rising copper prices in the early 1980s created a problem. It was getting more expensive to mint pennies than their face value. How do I identify one yourself? The big question. Could you find a 1982 small date copper penny? Yes, if you know exactly what to look for. Here's a step-by-step guide to becoming a penny hunter. Separate your 1982 pennies, go through all your change and coin jars. Pull out every penny dated 1982 and 198 to de-identify the date style. Compare the size of the two in 1982. A small date has a more delicate, evenly balanced font. A large date looks bolder and thicker. Use comparison charts online or side-by-side coins. Look for the D mint mark. This coin must have the Denver D mint mark and the small date style. Auction records and market potential. While the only verified 1982 D small date copper penny hasn't yet been sold publicly, experts estimate its market value could exceed $150,000 in a private sale. to $100,000 to $150,000 at public auction. Potentially $300,000 plus if collector hype pushes it. Extreme rarity, only one known. High collector demand. Historical importance. Numismatists call this coin a once-in-a-lifetime variety. And if another example ever surfaces, it will send shockwaves through the coin world. The shocking truth behind one of the most mysterious and valuable coins ever to slip past the U.S. Mint undetected, the 1983 D copper Lincoln penny. This isn't just a story about metal. It's a story about rarity, human error, fierce bidding wars, and numismatic legend. To understand why the 1983 D copper penny era is so valuable, we need to travel back in time to the early 1980s. For decades, Lincoln cents were struck in 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. That composition remained unchanged from 1909, the first year of the Lincoln penny, until inflation struck hard in the 1970s and early 80s. Value, auctions, and record-breaking sales. This era penny isn't just rare, it's insanely valuable. In private evaluations and expert estimates, this coin has been valued between $200,000 to $250,000. With some projections stretching as high as $300,000, especially if another bidding war erupts. A 1982 D copper small date penny, another extremely rare transitional era, sold for $18,800 in 2017. A 1983 copper penny from Philadelphia, also a transitional era, but without a mint mark, sold for over $23,500 in a past auction. Some collectors speculate that if this coin ever hits a high-profile auction like Heritage or Stack's Bowers, it could spark a bidding war and shatter the $300,000 mark. How to identify a 1983 D copper penny? Now, here's the part that could change your life. How can you tell if you have one? Let's say you pull a 1983 D penny from a jar. Here's what to do. Check the weight. Use a high-precision digital scale that reads in grams. A regular 1983 D penny made of zinc weighs 2.5 grams, but the rare copper version? It should weigh about 3.11 grams. Inspect with a magnet. Copper and zinc are both non-magnetic, but it's still good to ensure it's not a steel core or novelty item. No pull. Proceed. Look for damage or plating. The shocking history behind this rare 1983 copper Lincoln penny, how it came to exist, why it's so valuable, and how you can spot one in your very own collection. Stick around, because you want to miss the moment we reveal the insane auction. To understand the 1983 era penny, we need to go back a bit to 1982. That year, the U.S. Mint made a critical change to the composition of the penny. Before 1982, Lincoln cents were made from 95% copper and 5% zinc, but copper prices had skyrocketed. In fact, by 1981, the metal in a penny was almost worth more than the penny itself. So, in mid-1982, the Mint made the switch to a copper-coated zinc core. How to identify a 1983 copper penny? Now here's where you should really pay attention, because you might be sitting on a gold mine and not even know it. To determine if your 1983 penny is the ultra-rare copper version, follow these steps. Check the date and mint mark. Look for a 1983 penny with no mint mark, Philadelphia. Some possible errors may also exist with a D mint mark, Denver, but these are even rarer. Weigh it. A genuine copper 1983 penny will weigh around 3.11 grams. A normal zinc 1983 penny will weigh about 2.5 grams. Use a precise digital scale, even slight variations matter. Drop test optional. A copper penny has a distinct ring sound when dropped on a hard surface. Auction sales record and value. Now let's talk about the jaw-dropping values these coins have achieved at auction. Here's a breakdown of some of the most notable 1983 copper penny sales in recent years. Heritage Auctions 2020. A PCGS certified 1983 copper penny in mint state, MS65. Red condition sold for $250,000. Just imagine 1 cent turned into $250,000. Private Sale Rumors 2023. A rumored private transaction in 2023 suggests a high-grade specimen sold for as much as $300,000 to a private collector overseas. Experts believe that as time goes on and fewer are found, the price could easily reach $400,000 or more, especially if a perfect or proof-like specimen is discovered.